Well, I haven't looked out there, so I hope so. You know, those things happen. I mean, you know, it's nobody's fault. It happens. Again, both teams had to play with it. And, again, I'm glad they have it fixed.
We hear the rumors that it was ESPN's fault, though.
Well, I don't know. I don't know whose fault it is. Like I tell players, it doesn't matter whose fault. Let's just get it fixed.
What's your sense of the mood of the team heading into game 2?
You know, we're disappointed, but, again, we're anxious to get the second chance at it. I think the second time around we get the first game jitters away out of us. We know we're fighting a veteran, crusty team that's been there before. But again, we have worked on some things, made some adjustments in certain situations that we know we can do better.
From what you've seen, how much is execution and how much is altering game plan?
Well, a lot of it is, I think, execution, Steve. Some of the things, tweaking a few things. At this time of year, you're not going to come in and change your game plan totally. There are certain things we can do in certain situations, how we want to guard things, how we want to execute offensively, our spacing offensively. Those are the things you have to tweak and adjust as much as putting in a new offense or putting in a new defense. That's not going to happen at this time of year. So we've worked on some things to execute what we already have in a better way and maybe move a couple of pieces around.
What surprised you most when you analyzed the film?
More of what opportunities we had to score and we didn't. You know, we shot 39%. Some of the shots we normally make, we missed. And they were playing aggressive defense. They were in us. It was physical, but we still got some good looks. And we've got to make those. The other thing that surprised me, Steve, are our turnovers. Our turnovers were, you know, dribble off our foot, one dribble off our foot, some things that we normally don't do. You know, passing to a guy that's not looking at you. You know, those things let me know that, hey, we're a little anxious, and which is good because it means they care, but it wasn't from a lack of hustle, hard play, or anything like that, but just, I say anxious is probably the word.
Do you feel confident the team has gotten that out of their system?
Well, we better. We got a day to figure where we got it out of our system or not. Again, I do expect to execute better in Game 2.
Despite some of his own turnovers and missed shots, how pleased were you with Jonas?
I was very pleased. I was very pleased with Jonas. I thought he came in. You know, again, he's played. That's one thing with the EuroLeague. He's played in some big games over there for his country. That has helped. He was not fazed by the crowd, by the moment, by it being the playoffs. I thought he did a good job of fighting their physicality, getting inside, rebounding, using his length against KG and Plumlee.
He seems to have just, over the last few weeks, each game, he's shown you something a little bit more about his development. Is that just give you, now going into Game 2, knowing he can show you more?
It's a positive. Him growing over the last month or so has really been a positive for our season, and because he's our future. He's our starting center for a while to come. So it's great to see. Plus, he's a great kid. He works at it. But again, he was not intimidated or he wasn't fazed by the physicality and guarding a legend like KG.
You coached KG. What must it be like for him to go up against him?
For KG to go against, for opposite way around? I mean, it's, you're talking about a guy who's going to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, again, but I told our guy, you got to respect them because those guys have accomplished a lot in this league, but you can't fear them. And KG would think less of him if knowing him, if it was anything less. So, that's what it was word to JV. Respect him, but you can't fear him, and he didn't.
And with Jonas, usually when he struggles, it's overeagerness, not the opposite.
Right, it's not the opposite. It's not the opposite.
Should he get more touches, Dwane, Jonas?
Should he get more touches? It's interesting you say that. I think he's just as effective off the ball, getting what we call short actions, more so than running plays to him. That's when he struggles a little bit. He's going to get there of getting play calls for him, but he's better playing off of DeMar, playing off Kyle on rolls, playing off of guys playing under the basket, finding the openings. And that's where he's been more effective than getting touches.
Do you feel you learned more about your team or about how the Nets played from Game 1?
Both. We knew how they were going to play. They're a matchup-driven team. They're an experienced team. They're going to pick out the weak link that you throw at them. What we have to do is minimize those situations as much as possible and try to get help there a little bit quicker in some of those situations. But against us, we found out we got to take care of the ball. That's the number one thing. More than anything else, we got to get quality shots and execute what we do with a little better patience and spacing, and that'll help us.
Coach,
articulate a bit about the playoff atmosphere here in Toronto. The crowds,
unbelievable. We were in Dallas for the championship, even in Seattle in the arena there, which was loud. We played playoff games in Utah. We was loud, but this arena Saturday was unbelievable. I thought I was proud of our fans. They showed the NBA what we were about, and the whiteout. The white hot, there was unbelievable enthusiasm. They not only cheered when we were up, they cheered when we were behind. They were constant. It was like a soccer crowd. And it was unbelievable. And, again, our players appreciate it. We appreciate it. Now we got to go out and reciprocate with our effort.
So is this the first time for you to be in an absolute must-win situation as an NBA?
Must win. It's important we win. Going down 0-2, Steve, is very difficult to come out of. Must win. I don't think that means we're done. We want to win tomorrow, but as a head coach, must win, I guess it is. But I don't think for the series, if something happens tomorrow, we still have games to be played. It makes it very difficult, but I wouldn't say it's dire. It's tough, but it's not over with if something happens tomorrow.
Dwane, Patrick was out here and said that you just have to accept that Brooklyn will get the calls in the fourth quarter. That's just the way it is. Have you accepted that?
Well, it's hard. I'm not going to comment on officiating except to say, I went back and looked at the calls of the fourth quarter, and we didn't get any, and that's unusual.
Coach, how much thought have you given to giving a guy like Landry Fields extended minutes matched up with Joe Johnson?
With who now?
Joe Johnson.
Who?
Landry.
We've thought about it. It's going to be one of the matchups we have to look at. It's one of the personnel adjustments we have to look at. On not only just Joe Johnson, but could be on Paul Pierce, could be on Livingston, and that's what they do. They try to get the weak link matchup-wise and go at him. So we may have to use him on one of those three guys.
Coach, having this extra day off, could that possibly benefit Brooklyn just because you guys have the youth factor?
It could. It could help both teams. I mean, we needed the time to work and watch film and make adjustments and kind of get that bad taste out of our mouth, and I'm sure that they used it to rest. But, again, it's the playoffs, and, no one really has an advantage. They have to travel. We got to travel. Again, it's neither way. Either way.
Might you mix up your rotation to deal with Paul Pierce at the four, maybe Landry Fields get a look?
We're going to look at different people on different matchups, and I don't want to tip my hand totally, but we're going to look at different people on different matchups and see what we can do. Again, we can't just throw the whole menu away and just play a different way than we have, but there's some things we can do to try to slow him down as much as possible, stop him, and some of his personnel driven.
There can't be too many teams in the league with call it what you want, but between Pierce and Johnson, guys that size, that person.
Right. Miami may possibly is probably the only one with Wade and James. But Amir, again, for us, Amir he's worked with guys like that, guarded guys in that position. So, but it's not very many teams that with that size and their flexibility and versatility at that position, it's hard to match up with.
Dwane, you had Allen Anderson here. What did you make of his game?
I thought he was a factor. Defensively, I thought he did a good job. Offensively, normally makes those shots where I thought we did a good job of running him off the three-point line. But he is a pro's pro. Coming in, he's ready to play. He brings enthusiasm, intensity on the court. But I thought we did a good job, running him off the three-point line. But he's a solid contributor for their team.
He's just another one of those guys that seems like he can get under your skin like a Garnett or like a Pierce.
He fits in well. He fits in well.
What's a better state of mind for your team than playing under down the line, loose or angry?
No, I think we got to be desperate. Not desperate, but we got to be the underdog. We got to continue to be the underdog team. We're not loose. You can't go in these games being loose and think, okay, well, we should have got that. No, we got to go in with an edge, and be the underdog team and attack it that way. And we're a better team that way when we're the underdog. And We've been that way all year. Nobody counted us in. And for us to be successful, give ourselves a chance, we've got to be that team.
Coach, with the Patterson recovery, is there any limit on the minutes?
No, there's no limit whatsoever.
Would more minutes for him mean better spacing offensively?
Possibly. One thing you have to worry about is his extended minutes, running time, as far as you've got to get him a little bit more of a blow between his extended minutes. I think 13, 14-minute run that he had is probably a little bit too long. I got to get him out a little bit quicker and give him a blow, get him back in there. And that's the same for a lot of our guys.
What's the biggest area of emphasis for you to the team before tomorrow's game?
Or take care of the ball. We got to take care of the ball, execute offensively, maintain our edge defensively, understand who we're guarding, how we want to guard them, know their tendencies. But number one team is not make the turnovers and give them easy points from the offensive end of the floor.